boy Army. Welcome to another spicy one on the channel. In this video, we are going to be looking at things that top players do on FIFA. So we're looking at top 100 player like me. I'm going to use some gameplay examples, give you some tips, things that you could start to try and do more. It might not be necessary that you can replicate all the time. One of the big things that makes top players the top players on FIFA is that they can just do things more consistently. But this video is going to hopefully help you to get more consistent and let you know some areas where you're going wrong, but let you know some areas where maybe you could improve your game. So the first one I'm going to look at, when we look at team and tactics, I talk about this a lot because it is really important. Tactics are important in football. Team obviously is very important on Ultimate Team because of the way the best cards play. It is staying consistent with your tactics and team. If your team and tactics just are not working at all, then yes, you probably will want to change it up a bit. But so many people take one bad result, then get rid of a player, change their team completely, change the tactics. And there's a few knock-on effects this can have that can end up being really detrimental to your game in the long term. One, if you keep chopping and changing your players, you're going to lose a lot of coins. And when you lose a lot of coins, you end up with a much worse team because you have a much worse coin balance and you just can't get many good players for your team. And then if you're changing your tactic constantly, how are you ever going to be able to adjust and get really good at a tactic? I put lots of tactic videos out on this channel because for me, I'm trying to educate people, give them lots of different ways of playing. But when I put a new tactic video out, if I've done 4 in the last 2 weeks, it doesn't mean I think you should change each time. It's more just giving you options so you can hopefully find a tactic that suits the way you want to play. But once you've found a tactic that suits the way you want to play, I honestly would recommend trying to stick with it and progressing with it and maybe even shaping it to suit you even more, because that way you'll get better over time. So many people on this game just change things so regularly and change quite drastically that they don't get consistency, and long term they just never improve properly. So honestly, consistency will be one of the things I make a big point of in this video, because consistency is one of the most important things that can help take you to the next level. So having a consistent team, tactic, that's going to help you improve, that'll go a long way. That's number one. The second thing that I want to talk about that top players do regularly on this game that gives them an edge, that honestly a lot of people don't do enough, is they use width. Using width on FIFA for probably last 3-4, probably every year on FIFA to be fair, but the last few years are the only ones that I really remember the gameplay properly. Using width makes a big difference because what it does is, even though quite often, like the last FIFA where heading was really good was FIFA 19, so you naturally had to go out wide to get crosses in. Last FIFA, this FIFA, FIFA 18, crossing and heading were pretty average. This year, it's not as bad this year. It's got better now that there's more players with 99 jumping and heading. But generally speaking, I don't use width to cross. What I do is I use it to stretch teams. It gives me more space in the middle and it allows me to keep the ball better. So all these things combined just make for much better options and just a much better attack in general. Let me get my pen software up so we can draw on the screen. There we go. Okay, so here we are. So I'll show you some examples here. Look here. The software's got a bit weird, but you can see he's got quite a few men around here. But as soon as I go down here, I've got this big open space now, and it's just much easier for me to build up. So many people, when they attack and they build up, they ruin their attacks by just focusing everything down the middle where there's no space, and it becomes predictable too. Now you can see we're going out wide. I do a 1-2. 1-2 is a very good way. And then here, I see I've got the run on him. So I do the through ball. The software's been really annoying today. By the way, the things I'm going to talk about in this video aren't going to be things that are just going to make you really good at FIFA 21. They're going to be things that are going to be long-term, consistent things. You can see here we've got the width. And now this player has been pulled out of here. So I've got space in the middle. And here, I should probably pass and shoot. I should probably do another pass and shoot with hindsight. Blocks are crazy, and it ends up getting blocked, so I mess up the chance. But I put myself in a really good shooting position here, and it all came from using the width properly. This is why, when you see tactics by any good content creator, pro player, that a lot of the time the fullbacks will be on stay back if they have width in a formation like 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2, or if it's a 4-1-2-1-2, 4-3-1-2 that lacks natural width because it's the midfield and attackers are all central, the fullbacks will be unbalanced or join the attack, so you can still get some options from them there. Using width is the number 2. That is going to help improve your game drastically. This one here is honestly so simple, but it's one that I see so consistently people don't do. And it's similar to the using width, kind of. It is about the possession, how you create chances. Sometimes the best way to attack is to go backwards. You can go forwards by going backwards. And by that I mean, when you go backwards, it creates more space. That long term allows you to have more options when you go forward. So you can see here, like I said from number 2, I've got width, which is pulling men out like this, which is creating a bit more space centrally. But right now, in this position, he's got 4 men here, and there's no way I can go forward. A lot of people here will just try to force something that just isn't there, and then they end up giving the ball away and doing something stupid. So here, I go backwards, because in this position, I've not got anything centrally that I can go forward and score. Good players as well will use the right pass option. So here, I could just do a pass to feet with just a normal A or X pass, and it would be fine. But because it's over a bigger distance and I've got a good passer in Kimmich and I'm facing the right way, I use the driven pass, and it just makes it a bit better. And then there, I get to the box. We'll go backwards a bit because the software being weird. So here, now I've gone backwards. This man's been pulled out here, and I've got 3 against 3 pretty much around here. Get Lewandowski there, and then there, when it comes to in the box, being a bit creative, using a bit of left stick dribbling to fool someone, then it's a nice easy finish. And all that's come from being patient, going backwards, not forcing anything, and waiting for the chance to arise, and it ended up leading to a very nice goal. Tip number 3, sometimes go backwards to go forward. The best players won't just force everything. They'll be creative in different ways. Sometimes they'll force the tempo forward. Sometimes they'll go backwards and slow things down. 4th tip that I'm going to give you that will help you a lot. Honestly, I talk about it a lot in my player reviews and when I look at the latest SBCs and promo players that have come out in packs. It's just having meta players that are going to make you less predictable. If you are predictable on FIFA, then you are going to be a lot easier to defend against. One of the reasons Neymar's so hard to play against is because he's got 5-star skills, so he can do a variety of different tricks to get past you, and he's got 5-star weak foot with good dribbling, so he can go either way. Very hard to defend against because you don't know what he's going to do. If you have a 3-star weak foot, you're suddenly way easy to play against because I'm going to, for the most part, know if you ever shoot on your weak foot, unless it's almost like 6 yards out, it is never really going to go in. If you have a 5-star weak foot, you could go either way. I would say with tricks, it's less important to have 5-star, partly because hardly anyone is that good at using tricks. But 4-star, I think, is quite important because it is very, very easy, in my opinion, to do the scoop turn. And the scoop turn is such an effective trick that will go a long way to getting you goals around the box. Watch this goal that I score here. So I'm patient again. You can see I've gone backwards using some of the tips from the previous one. Then here, I know Lewandowski's running that way. That defender's there. Now, it annoys me when it does this. So now it does the scoop turn. Lewandowski with his 4-star tricks. And here, this is the team of the season Lewandowski with his 5-star weak foot. If this is a 4-star weak foot, good chance it doesn't go in. And I bang it in the far corner. If I don't have 4-star tricks or a 5-star weak foot, good chance I don't score this goal. In this position, the normal fake shot wouldn't have worked in the same way. The scoop turn creates space that otherwise I wouldn't be able to and catches my opponent off guard. And because of the 5-star weak foot, people don't really know which way to defend against you and just leads to a goal. Literally just having these options in your locker makes it a lot easier. Honestly, at this point in the game, there's no excuse as well not to have players with at least 4-star skills and weak foot, to be honest. When the game comes out, there's not many options apart from the top icons and top players like Neymar, CR7. They cost a lot of money. Fair enough, you can't afford them at the start. But at this point of the game, Ryan Kent's 100 grand and he's 5-star, 5-star. There are a lot, Neymar's the same. There are a lot of very good options that can make you less predictable and make you harder to defend against. The 5th and final point I'm going to make that will help you improve. This might not necessarily be something that top players always find to do. Like, I find this game pretty frustrating at times, but it's one that is definitely going to help you guys, is that you have to enjoy the game. If you are not enjoying the game and you're starting to get frustrated and play worse, take a break. Like, honestly, mental side of this game is so important. It is one of the things that makes the top players so much better than most people, that they can stay consistent because the mental side of the game is strong. Weekend League is a marathon, not a sprint. You are not going to be able to play your best generally for 30 games, so you have to do everything you can to get the most out of it. I think if you're not enjoying the game and it's not your job, then you're probably wasting your time a bit anyway. So try and look for ways you can enjoy the game more. Try use some players you like. Try, like I said in the first tip, use a consistent team. This is going to help a lot. Hopefully the tips I've shared in this video are going to help make you more consistent and improve your gameplay. I appreciate you guys as always. Hope you enjoyed this video. Keep it spicy, and I'll see you in the next one.